Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's come over here. How's everybody doing this morning? So, the reason I have to turn the music off when we go to Facebook because it recognizes it as being copywritten, and what it will do is actually mute parts of the replay over on Facebook. So, we have music on Zoom, but before we go live, or I would say within 1 minute, I have to shut that audio down or it will start to mute parts of the replay video over on Facebook. You guys might have noticed we do have a new guide over on Facebook. So we are working on our foreclosure short sales. This coming Monday, we're going to just discuss nothing but forms, nothing but forms. But what I want to do real quick is just show you what this is looking like over in Facebook so that you will know exactly where to go because all information is in both locations. When I say both locations, I mean that all information is inside of the Facebook group and it's also inside of the private membership group. So when you come into the Facebook group, you will go to guides. And this guide I have not elevated up. So currently it is sitting down at the bottom. It's just the last guide. And I'm going to mark everything as week one because I'm going to deliver this to you over, it's going to be four Mondays, but we're taking the holiday off. So we already have loaded, the video is there, the replay, we have the PowerPoint, and we also have a handout. Now, what has happened over the course of this week is I have made some posts inside of the group, which now means that what I need to do is come back and find those different posts. Remember, your calendar is posted every single month with a little bit of instruction or thought process at the beginning. But as we start to scroll down, keep on going here, I'm going to tag this and put this in that guide and come back and organize it. So all the resources that we are posting will also be in the guide. And what is this? What is a short sale? What is a short sale? So the same way that we have this organized inside of the group is the same identical way we have it organized over in, you see it came right over here. It's the same way that we have it organized inside of the membership site. So it's going to be in two locations. Everything I do, I am definitely trying to put it in two locations. So let me go back over here. What are the circumstances? So let me copy this, circumstances that may cause a short sale. Let's copy that. Let's come and put this over there as well. Add it to that guide as well. So everything is going to be under that accredited distressed real estate professional tab where you can go and get everything. This week, I'm going to post a couple of different guides for you. I have content galore on foreclosures and short sales. You'll realize that at the end of the 4-week period, it'll actually be 5 weeks, all of the content. But you can come over now. And if you take a look at that accredited distressed real estate professional, we have, what are the circumstances that may create a short sale opportunity? What is a short sale? The video, the PowerPoint, and the handout. Now, what I am going to do, because we're in here, because if you have a group, just to show you this, I'm going to reorder these posts because I want what I just posted. I want everything to be in order and I want it to be, I'm gonna have to come back and work on that just a little bit, but it's in order right now. So you can go into the private Facebook group or you can go over to markylemons.com/log in and it is going to be a tab at the bottom. I don't know if you know, but every single week I am putting up a resource inside of the private membership group. So I want to come over here and log in. I have an account on the site, just like you have an account on the site. So you log in, you always want to come to the membership tab. And when we come to the membership tab, you're going to scroll down to the bottom left-hand side. You will click on the accredited distress property representative. When you come and take a look at week 1, what you're going to see is downloads. There are 5 downloads available. That's the audio, the text transcription, the text, the PowerPoint, and the handout is all available for you inside of here. But what we're doing when it comes to our weekly templates is when we scroll up a little bit and we come to the month of June. I haven't put in this last week, but you have templates. So these are the templates for this month. You get your planner, you got your PNG for creating your t-shirts. I sell houses faster than I run. And then our podcast planner is in here where you can come in and you can actually download this planner as a PDF file. So we have one download up here. All downloads are going to be at the top. So I was looking for that. So the same information that is inside of our private Facebook group is also built out inside of the private membership, and all of the archives are there. Now, for those who don't join us regularly, I want you to keep in mind, start where you are. You do not want to go back and try to consume past information. You want to come in and you want to get into a regular routine to start where you are. Starting where you are is probably overwhelming enough, as opposed to you trying to go back and consume all of this content. There is 18 months worth of content there. That means there are, oh my God, if it's 18 months times 4, there's 100 videos, there's 100 templates. It's a lot of stuff, guys. I would not try to go back. And if I was going to go back, I would just focus on this template area with all the different templates, the Canva templates, the different books. Everything is going to be under that segment. Okay, so I wanted to show you that just so that you would know exactly where things are, because we're going to focus on foreclosures and short sales for the next 4 weeks. Okay, each week, something totally new, but every resource that I have on foreclosures and short sales, you're going to have it at the end of the next 4 weeks, because remember, we're going to take off for the holiday. All right, I see a couple of people have come over here and said something in the chat. Just want to make sure. We got South Carolina in the morning. Good morning, Pat. How's everyone doing? Good to know about these copyright laws. Always good to know. Good morning, Jennifer. So we're going to dive into the questions for today. And I just want to let you know that we already have a strong focus based on what I have seen this morning on what is that strong focus on? Let me tell myself again. The strong focus is going to be on Pinterest today, which is something that we haven't talked about. If it's a platform that I'm not on and I don't use regularly and you ask about it, then I'm going to bring in an expert on that subject. It just so happens that everything that you guys have asked about so far, I happen to be on those different platforms. So we're going to get into this questions. Let's go down here. So the first question is, what changes did you make to take your business from $100,000 to $1 million in yearly revenue? So let me be clear. I've never made $1 million in a year. Is it a goal? Yes, it is a goal, but I've never made $1 million in a calendar year. Okay. We are speaking that and manifesting that into existence as I talk. But let me tell you how I went from 6 figures to $250,000. Okay. The first thing, which when we go back into the membership site, it is always going to be about business planning. A lot of people say, oh, I want to make this amount of money, but they have never written that amount of money down, because you're going to have to take steps in order to get there. So the very first thing is you have to write down what is, okay, Pamela, I'm going to answer that question for you. What are your financial goals? The way that I was able to continue to elevate my income is one based on my annual goals. It dictates the training that I have to take. So I notice that people go to a lot of education events, but it does not help them in their business. Okay. You want to decide if it's luxury you want to focus on, you need to go and get a luxury designation or certification. And just because a designation or certification or a set of education is expensive, it does not make it better. One thing you will notice about the National Association of Realtors is that their designations and certifications, I would say, are moderately priced. If you were looking to get the accredited buyer representation or SRS or CRS, at max on any of these programs, you're going to spend $1,000. Are there other programs that will charge you $10,000? Yes. That does not mean that it's going to be better education. It just means it could be more expensive. It could actually be an epic fail, right? Because right now everyone is an expert, and they have not practiced what they've preached. I got to be really careful with my words because we got a couple other situations going on where I've been sworn to secrecy. So I had to be careful with how I say things. And so, with that being said, the way that I was able to take my business from one level to the next level, and let me give you some numbers. And this is going to answer a second question. When I first came into real estate, I sat down and I created a budget. The first thing that I wanted to do, because I was coming out of a salary position into a commission position, was to survive. So oftentimes we'll come in or want to make a change and we want to go to this big, hairy, audacious goal. Well, I would say, if this is your first year in, you want to survive. So, how do I replace my past income? So, I sat down and I came up with a household budget. How much money did I need to make in 1999 in order to just pay my bills? Okay. I had a figure written down of $48,000. I was a loan originator and I was receiving 50% commission of what I originated. I made $48,384. That means that I originated, okay, $97,000, give or take, okay? So with that being said, what I knew was that I had earned the company $100,000, okay? So once I had earned that amount of money, I said, okay, my next goal was $240,000, a number I just picked out of. I was like, I can double this income. Okay. When I decided that I wanted to go up in my income, I had actually met with a company called Synergy Solutions. We sat down with one sheet of paper and I had everything that I needed to do monthly, weekly, and daily in order to get to that $240,000 price point. But here's the thing about education and systems. You must put the time on your calendar to implement it. So we'll go take a course, but we don't have any time for implementation. Today, I have on my calendar, I hired two people to do two things for me. I have to sit down and review the work that they did in order to implement it. It is on my calendar to just sit down and read everything. I have PowerPoint to do on Monday. I have 3 hours on my calendar for the Real Estate Business Institute because I have to turn these templates into them by the first of the month for them to approve them for me to record the video content next month. So the way to go from $100,000 to 200,000, or in my situation, to go from that 97,000 to $240,000, was one. You sit down and you have to come up with a budget, thinking with the end in mind. Okay. You don't ever want to take your whole budget and spend it in 1 month. So I'm always looking at 12 months. Okay. And if I see it doesn't work, then I take it off. I don't add to it. okay? And you have to put on your calendar to implement. So what we do, and I see people do this all the time, we come into real estate because we want flexibility of time and freedom. But then we think we shouldn't do nothing. That is not how this works. You have to get up and you have to lead generate every single day. You take off what does not work and you start exploring new opportunities. So I told everybody this year, metaverse is what I'm exploring this year. I flipped houses. I flipped 7 houses, had a business partner, won't do a business partner again. I was a top producing loan officer. I was a top producing realtor. So I've had the opportunity to do all those things. Just because I can do them and I can do them well doesn't mean that I need to do them now. And here's one thing I want you to start thinking about, because I'm seeing that we're happy to be back out, but we've lost our focus. And this is me too, okay? There are certain things you're never going to see me at. And the reason you're not going to see me at these events is because my target audience is not there. Okay. My target audience isn't female entrepreneurs. My target audience is realtors. So, a specialty event with nothing but female entrepreneurs there, you're not going to see me there because they're not the people responsible for hiring me. Therefore, they're not the people I'm networking with, and I don't even want to sell to them. I need you to understand this. So, I am going to go where association executives and CEOs of franchises hang out. You're going to see me at the Realtor Conference and Expo. You're going to see me at NAR legislative meetings. You're going to see me at the Association Executive Institute, and you're going to see me at Inman Connect meetings. You're now going to see me at leading real estate companies of the world. Those 5 annual events are going to put me in a networking situation with the people who I need to network with in order to earn the amount of money in which I desire. I just need to implement more systems. So it's always about implementing more systems. So all these 7,500 other events that occur in a calendar year, you're not going to see me at them, because the people who make the decision to put me in front of you aren't in those rooms. I know their job title. I know the events that they attend. I'm going to be where they are. If you want to do business with doctors, you need to do what doctors do. If you want to do business with nurses, you need to do what nurses do. If you want to be in luxury real estate, you need to be where luxury practitioners are. And I just want to say one thing did happen this week that just brought joy to my heart. There are a lot of people who I work with under confidential agreements, a lot of them. One of them happened to be Carrie McCormick. She's a platinum level realtor. I think she's averaging $100 million per year in sales, and she is 100% luxury. This week, I went to a luxury panel to network, okay, with realtors, not to do luxury, okay? Carrie McCormick took a picture with me. She put me on the gram and she gave me credit for teaching her everything about social media. Now, I ain't teach her everything, but I have consulted with her, and you can see that there was a change in her social media profile, and she's won awards for her social media profile. So I consult luxury agents and brands, and I'm telling them the same thing I'm telling you, okay? Kevin Rocio, another person I've consulted with. So I get down with those people who are making $100 million a year, and I'm not telling them anything different in volume, anything different than I am telling you. The question is whether or not you're taking heed and implementing that information, if you're giving yourself the opportunity. So in the midst of Carrie going on all these listing appointments, she has a social media strategy. Here is what is differentiating her from her competitors. Most of them don't have a strong social media presence like Carrie McCormick does. Okay. So in her marketplace, the Mario Grecos of the world, who else? The Jennifer Ames, they don't have the same social presence as a Carrie McCormick does. Just to throw that on out there. Okay. So we're going to do a business plan, and we've done a business plan, and we have business plan recordings. You have to get over the fear. You have to get out of your way. You got to set that big, hairy, audacious goal. And when I look at people, I see people, we get in our way all the time. Like we disrupt our own lives. Don't be your disruption. Don't be your obstacle. And here would be something real simple. I'm flying all over the country. People are rude. They say and do all sorts of inconsiderate things, whether it's the airport, whether it's the car rental. I look over every rude person because I have a work goal. I'm not getting ready to put myself on the TSA block list. I'm not getting ready to have an incident in the airport that may delay me. I suck it up. I take it in. I said, ooh, please bless them, honey, because they having a bad day. Or, ooh, I don't want to cross their path again. That's how I'm talking to myself, because I see people get caught up in that, have an argument, can't go to their good job, throw them off for the rest of the week. No, I'm going to be pleasant, smile, and let you get away with stuff you could never get away with if we were standing on this corner right here. Look, I might let you get away with it standing on the corner if I got to go to the airport. And so we have to stay focused on our goals. And when it comes to being married, because a lot of people will tell me, well, you're married. My husband is not an excuse for me to be successful. I want you to know that. I was successful before Stephen. Stephen married me because I'm successful, because Stephen thought that broke women will set you back. So my husband ain't never dated bad. Every woman he has ever dated has been substantially more successful than him. When I look at his past fiance and all them, first of all, I'm cool with all his exes. All right. All of them, I'm like, dang, she got it going on. Because he believed that a broke woman will set you back. He ain't never dated bad. And I applaud him for that, because he's been real strategic. He done dated quite well. Is he a good husband? Most definitely. But when we start thinking about that, he knew what he wanted. He started with the end in mind. But Stephen, they'll say, well, you got a husband. Me having a husband doesn't make it easier. Me having a husband actually makes it harder, because I had to run things by him. You know, I still got to get a little head nod on some of these situations, where at first I was just doing what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. Now I got to be thoughtful and considerate and things of that nature. So when you look at, for any women in this group that are single, or any men, having a spouse or a significant other does not make it easier. I want you to know that, because now you got to think about other people's feelings, how you do it, what time you're coming in, how did you say it, when you go out, do you take them? And look, I tell Stephen right now, he jump in and just introduce himself, because I might not remember everybody's name. So for anybody single, do not tell married women, well, you married. That don't mean nothing. You could be married. We could be married to a habitual golfer or alcoholic. That don't make financially the situation better. It make it worse. It's 2 versus 1. That means that double the goodness, but also oftentimes double the problems. I want to throw that out, because I've been getting a whole lot. Well, you married, and Stephen is a handful. That's a full-time job all by itself. Yes, husbands are the real deal, Holyfield. The only thing I would say that a husband, one of the benefits of a husband is it teaches you that your way ain't the only way. So I would say that we're exploring options on how to get things done, because our way might not be his way or her way, and they didn't call it out for us. I need you to know that. So it's not necessarily a easier situation for us. Let's keep going here. I have sent handwritten notes to owners in pre-foreclosure a month ago. What is my next step? So what I would not do is send a handwritten note. because people who are in foreclosure often don't open their mail. I want you to go back and I want you to send a two-sided postcard, generic postcard, something that is a bright yellow and or red. Those are the most popular color of postcards. But when I'm saying a bright yellow, I'm talking like this color yellow, okay, or this color pink. So you want to send out a two-sided postcard. What you're going to do when a notice of default has been filed, you must understand the foreclosure timeline in your state. In the state of Illinois, for example, our foreclosure process from the time the notice of default is filed until a foreclosure sale can occur is a minimum of 7 months. Therefore, I want to pull one list and I want to hit that same set of homeowners once per month for 7 months with a two-sided postcard. One thing I did go over on Monday night was a marketing piece. You can also do door hangers if they are acceptable in the community, okay? So you could also do door hangers. Walk by, put a door hanger on. Walking up on people's properties right now in a lot of communities will not be the safest thing to do. So let me, and he's going to get mad at me, let me tell you what Skylar's strategy is. Not only is he running Facebook ads, he's also doing direct mail pieces, because if you can get the email address, you can target them in your ad. So he's doing direct mail with the Facebook ad, and adding is the triple double dialer, where if there's a phone number, he's also calling them. And because Wise Agent, which is our office's preferred CRM, he also has the ability to text them. So what he's looking at is how many forms of communication can I have with a person where a notice of default has been filed. He wants to call them, he wants to email them, he wants to mail them, and he wants to text them. I will let you know how it is going. He has broken down the cost of everything to do, and he's found a partner. So go back to your lending partners to see if they want to co-brand your marketing and help you offset the cost of that marketing. So his direct mail piece, he has that covered with a couple of lenders for different initiatives. We already get our customer relationship management system with 1,000 text messages per month. We also have the email marketing built inside of the Wise Agent. Plus, he has his own Kajabi site. So that is his strategy to consistently touch homeowners where a notice of default has been filed. Back in the day, I didn't do all that. I was only doing a direct mail piece, just so you know. I was only doing a direct mail piece, but that's the strategy that he's come up with based on his goal. All right. Also keep in mind, if you're going to text messaging gets about an 83% response rate. So it's not just a matter of you texting a person. This is the plan of action that I recommended to Skylar. So he is going to cold call as well as send the text message out. He knows that text messages have an 83% response rate. My recommendation to him is you send your text at the beginning of your call cycle so that you are sitting there and can respond to the text as you are cold calling. Another example, when I think about our life, when I got up this morning, right, I came over, I sent you guys an email, and then you got a post about today's event. I also, before I did any of that, I started the laundry. The reason I started the laundry is so that the clothes can wash themselves, right, while I'm sitting here. So one load is done already, a second load is in. Those clothes have washed themselves while I am sitting here working. And that's how I plan everything I do. I think about if something needs to marinate, if something works itself, how do I put that into action? And then I come back and do those manual things. So by the time we get off this call, my laundry will be done. It'll be washed, and I'll be putting another load as soon as we get off this call into the dryer. I'm done with that, and it'll be 10:30. So you want to think about that order in which you implement as well, so you can get the most done in the least amount of time. Okay. Oh, I'm multi on that laundry, only because I have a lot of friends who don't do their laundry regularly, and I do laundry every weekend. I used to do a laundry service, but Steven likes for me to wash his clothes. And because I don't have to do a lot of things around the house, I don't have to cook, I don't have to wash dishes, I don't empty the garbage, I do the laundry because that's what he wants me to do. So I'm gonna do that laundry. I can tell you that right now. That laundry gonna be good. I'm gonna fold it. All his stuff is folded and in order. Because if not, he might not find no use for me if I don't do his laundry. Um, and so that would be my plan of action. Go back, check out the foreclosure process in your state, but you have to continue to market. There's no one hit wonders in this business. That's why you also need to have that business plan and that budget. And the budget will dictate how many mailers you can send out every single month. What is the budget for marketing? Since I'm saying what is the budget for marketing, I believe that a person needs to allocate 10% of their earnings back into their marketing. And so right now, I'm not investing that much back into my marketing because of how I have my system set up. So I'm not putting 10% back in only because of a lot of social media, the consistency and posting. So I'm looking at what is the value of my time to post. Therefore, I do not have to spend that money. The next question is, I am not good with Excel. Do you have an Excel template that I can use to keep up with marketing correspondence? I just need owner's name, property address, email, mailing address, date sent, note section that can be updated. So let me highlight this question because what I can do is I can create a template. Let me think about how I can do that for you guys. I'll create a template and share it with the entire group. So I'm going to fill that with the color and come back and create that. That won't be a problem. Would you talk through some Pinterest tips beyond building your own content? There, do you personally gain audience pinning other posts? I'm underutilizing Pinterest. So there are two Pinterest questions, and I'm going to read the next one as well. How about advertising? Have you ever done any ads on Pinterest? If so, what were the results? I have never done an ad on Pinterest, but I have used Pinterest consistently in order to generate generate clicks on my website. I wouldn't say that I've used it for lead generation, but to generate clicks on my website. Here's what I will tell you about Pinterest. I like Pinterest. And let me say this, it sends a lot of people to my website. The issue is when I take a look at the analytics, they're very young, which then tells me the likelihood is they cannot afford to buy what it is that I am selling. So Pinterest will definitely generate clicks on your website. However, my Pinterest audience is under the age of 25. They're not in that position, not to buy what I want to sell. So it's like, okay, because I've been on here, because I use it for other things, collecting ideas for real estate and real estate education and my life, I keep it. One thing I will tell you about Pinterest, every photo that you have, and this will be a way to build your Pinterest, you can go back right now to every listing that you've taken. You would come over to Pinterest and you would create a board. Okay, so when you think about Pinterest, I want you to start thinking of that the board with the little push nails, thumbnails is what it's called in it, right? You'll see that I have quite a few boards. These boards I've probably been using Pinterest since its inception, since you had to be invited to use it. Okay, so you want to put like photos on a board at minimum. I believe that you would want to have 4 boards. Think about a listing board for everything that you've listed. and every single photo for that listing. You can do a collage photo with multiple pictures, okay? Or you can do a slideshow like a carousel, okay? For every listing, think about everything that you have sold. Think about community pictures. So I have a total of 5,695. I'm doing some work to my house, so I have pictures there. I have my lipedema board. I have the digital lead generation professional board. I got Amazon Creator. Clearly, I'm just starting to build those out. I have social selling board. I have 6 figures in 12 months. I have Boarded Up Chicago. It's a book that I published. I have Remarkable. I have some older house changes I was going to make. I have books. I have Social Selling Made Simple. You can kind of go through here. I got my hairstyle. So when you're thinking about a haircut you might want, put it there. When you're thinking about housing ideas, put it there. One of the ways that I like to pin is if we come up here and let me click on this. Okay. In your Chrome browser extension, you can add a Pinterest. So that means that anytime I'm on any website, let's go to, I'm gonna go to markylemons.com, markylemons.com. Okay. And when I'm on markylemons.com, you see this button turned red. Because this is in my Chrome browser extension, I can just click on this, and every photo that is on this page, I can pin it to a board on Pinterest. In your pins, you want to add a title, a description, make sure that the hyperlink works, and that you're also using hashtags. So it's kind of I would say Instagram would probably be the other site. As opposed to you posting a picture, you're pinning it to a board, okay? Also on the mobile device, you want to have the mobile app, because everything, any photos that are on your phone, you can also pin them to the board. Okay, so we have all these Pinterest boards. Let me pick one that is Chicago real estate. Okay, 352 pins. I have a separate board for home buyer resources. We just did the 360 Summit in Chicago. I pinned it. We're looking for people to volunteer for the Chicago Association of Realtors. I pinned it. Nakia Pipiama Griffiths running for Congress for the 1st Congressional District of Illinois. I pinned that. Our sales award, I pinned that. My sorority, we did an event. I pinned that. So you can kind of get an idea. And some of these pins, they haven't gotten any engagement, the Chicago ones especially, but some of my pins have done very well. Also, you can post your Snapchats, your TikToks, your Reels, your stories to boards, and videos do very well over on Pinterest. So videos are generally going to outperform most of the content that you're putting over here. So let's come back over here and see some decent stuff, right? A lot of these are videos, and you can see the engagement: 384, 8,900, 281, 602, 191. But these are going to be videos. Videos do very well versus just the photos. But these are all either stories or reels that you can load from the mobile device and or from the desktop. But you will see that this has been my most engaged content is when it is a video. I like Pinterest, but I want you to, before you decide to do Pinterest, I want you to understand who your target audience is. If it is not a younger generation of people, then Pinterest will not likely get you the results in which you desire, okay? This is for the young, okay? That's who's engaging with the content. If not, if you're in my age bracket, you're coming up with ideas about remodeling your house. Maybe your daughter's getting married. I have some stuff over here because I'm going to be a flower girl in August at a wedding, and I didn't know that flower men were a thing. So I'm getting, what kind of outfit does a grown flower girl wear? What can I do to be an outstanding flower girl at this wedding? So Pinterest is one of those places that I'm coming and I'm taking a look at ideas for. So think of the easiest way to do this would be for you to go over to back to Instagram and think about all the different subjects that you've talked about and how have people engaged with that content, because you'll already have photos. Okay. Then you come back to Pinterest and create boards around that content, because you're going to repurpose your past photos and videos. If you've never used Pinterest before, you're going to repurpose that content over onto Pinterest. Someone just stated, I recently joined BNI, which is the Business Network International Group. Congratulations. And the motto is Givers Gain. You are a fantastic giver, Marky. What opportunities do you see for members of 6 and 12 to better utilize this incredible network to help each other? So let me say this. I am not a member of the Business Network International based on the fact that I spend so much time on the road. But I will tell you how, if I was in the group, that I would utilize it, because the group will only have one realtor in that group, right? And it is about building referral business. The same thing that I'm telling people, every agent I've encouraged to do this. A lot of people, if we think about how we're going to get people to the closing table, a lot of people now think that the interest rates have changed the whole buying world. Okay. I want to come up with solutions. So when I was a loan originator, one of the top producers, he had a little sign on his door and it said COSNOP. COSNOP, concentrate on solutions and not on the problem. The way that I think that you would leverage the group is to always, one, ask questions. You know, what is the average price point that they're buying in? How can you now help them? So if there's a locksmith there, I'm gonna give you another idea. Let me come back. I got it for you. Yesterday, Skylar comes and stops by, and I realized that he got a new listing yesterday. I know the person quite well. And I'm like, well, why didn't he tell me he was going over to so-and-so's house to take their listing? So, I got questions when he shows up. So I said, oh, you went over my friend's house to take their listing. I said, I believe they came to you because of me. And he says, no, they came to me because of an attorney we do business with. The attorney referred the guy to Skylar. I said, didn't I introduce them? Like, didn't I make that connection? He was like, yes, because he told me, I know the attorney because of your mother, right? So imagine this, somebody I'm hanging out with all the time. I introduced them at an event, him and the attorney, they befriend each other. The friend then refers the deal back to Skylar, right? So now I'm laughing because I realize quite consistently how many people are making money off of coming to my events. So this is what I would do. I did an event Tuesday night. I did the event with Natasha from Guaranteed Rate, because she has this great space on the south side of the city of Chicago with street parking. Everybody complimented the fact that it was free street parking. Okay. I had her. I had Alani come in from Wise Agent. I had my attorney. And I had Lamont from Champagne Closings to pour champagne. And I had my videographer. Everyone commented on the fact that they had new referrals and would generate more business from being a sponsor of my event. So what I would recommend is you could sponsor an event to your sphere of influence for the BNI network and invite those people to come in. It didn't cost, actually, Lamont bought champagne. It didn't cost anybody anything. I actually bought the food myself. So, because it's my event essentially, right? But I needed the space because everyone from Tuesday class made more money. Everybody. So now I realized they like hanging out with me because they all gonna make more money because I'm gonna add a call to action. We're gonna have a little champagne. We're gonna eat. We're gonna learn something new. Let me tell you what else I realized that night. So my wedding anniversary was 666. Lamont called my husband, who's from Champagne Closing, and he says, "Hey, I want to stop by and toast to you and Marky on your anniversary." He shows up in a white tux. My husband looks at him and says, "Dude, are you serious? You went home and you changed your clothes and got dressed? I just thought you was going to drop some champagne off, you know." Lamont came to my house in a white tuxedo and served us champagne and sat and had a conversation. Okay. Let me tell you what happened for Lamont. 41 people reached out to Lamont because of the video I posted. They want to hire Lamont to come and pour champagne for their anniversary or for their spouse's birthday. It's those little things. So at my happy hour event, everybody was served champagne. Everybody. It was sponsored by the title company. Everybody was served champagne. And because everybody does not drink, let me clarify that, we had non-alcoholic beverages. But for that BNI group, plan your own event and give the BNI people exposure. So the people I exposed them to was a lender who has different programs and has money to help co-market with them. Champagne closings for their closings, let them get the experience in the classroom that they would be given to their clients. My new videographer who walked around and filmed the whole thing, I paid for that as well. Who else was there? And my lender, who, guess what? Skylar has gotten 5 referrals, 5 listings, not 5 referrals, 5 listings from in the past 2 weeks. But one of these I clearly introduced her to. I just need you to understand that, okay? So that's what I would do for the BNI network. Hey, let me put you in front of my sphere. Let me do a home buyer seminar. Let me do a how to sell your house when interest rates go up, because you can do one for sellers, you could do one for buyers, and then invite them back in. That's how I would leverage it. But I had to get myself together because, you know, I like to tell you what I've done. So I'm going to just tell you what I know I've done. And I'm a little particular about the people I sponsor things with because I want to give them business. I want them to make more money as a result of doing business with me. So guess what? I text Alani from Wise Agent. Now, we use Wise Agent. So we are at 300 agents between our 3 offices. But I wanted to know, did she have new exposure? Was coming to Chicago beneficial to her? So this morning we were texting each other. Let me go find that text, make sure which platform was it on. Let's come back. I'm going to check out this. I think it might have been on Instagram. I said, was your trip beneficial? It certainly was. Thank you for inviting me to speak. I'm looking forward to next month event. So she coming back from Arizona. Them flights ain't cheap right now, okay? But I want it to be beneficial to her. If not, then I need to work on how that is going to be beneficial to her. How do you respond to buyers who ask for commission cuts? Wait a minute. How do you respond to buyers who ask for commission cuts when lots of agents do that to win the client? So I want to make I want to clarify, okay, because I don't know who asked the question. What the compensation is in the MLS? Are you asking for the? I'm going to make an assumption. You didn't mean to say buyer. You meant to say seller. Because see, if the buyer's asking me to cut my compensation, I want to know what is the overall benefit to them and why do they think that that is going to be beneficial for them. Angela, have a great day. And so when a seller, this is what I want you to think about. And this was something that I learned when I was at Keller Williams. It's in the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. One of the mindsets to think about, if I am willing to cut my commission and take less than what I'm asking for, how do I then represent you and your money? So if I'm willing to take a cut on my money, that means then I'm also willing to take a cut on your money. What you have to do is demonstrate the value of working with you. Okay. So the conversation you can have is a real conversation. Hey, I understand that you want me to take a discount, and I hear you. But if I'm willing to discount my own money, what am I willing to do to your house when buyers come in? Because of my negotiation expertise, this is the reason why I charge this amount of money. And it's also why I'm going to stand firm on what it is that we are asking for. But let me break these numbers down for you. And you want to break those numbers down because most sellers don't realize that you are the one paying for everything in advance to sell their property. And yes, is it very possible that they could go to some website portal and save some money? Yeah, they can. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So you might as well go on and have that discussion now. You most definitely can. But at what cost? Because who's negotiating on your behalf? What disclosures are you providing? And I like to always find out something of value to the seller before you go on the listing appointment. And I have said this before, but I don't mind saying it a million times. Here in Cook County, our taxes are paid 1 year in arrears. That means that we are giving out these tax prorations. Okay. So that's one issue. The next issue is that 1/3 of homeowners in my county never get their homeowners exemption. The first thing that I'm going back to look at is, are they entitled to a homeowners exemption? I like to come in and give them a gift, to give them something of value, to demonstrate why they need to pay me this amount of money. Because if I'm giving you this gift, right, that means that I'm going to continue to give a gift. So you want to just give a gift off the bat. So with the listing appointment that Skylar went on yesterday, I have to clarify one thing because the person is entitled to a senior exemption. They were getting their homeowner's exemption, but not their senior exemption. So now I have to find out, is the senior exemption age 62 or 65? Because Skylar can now go back and give this person a gift. Now, this is going to help Skylar moving forward on every single property. Okay, you might have got your homeowner's exemption, but if you're this age, may I ask what your age is? Did you know that you're also entitled to a senior exemption? How many years? We can go back 3 years and get them that money. So always think about those little things to give a gift, to come in helping them out that no one else does. But if you're willing to give your money away, you're willing to give the seller's money away. And that would be a real honest conversation. There, people don't like discussing money. Come in, put it on the table. With the people that Skylar's worked with that I've referred him, he has not had to negotiate compensation one time because they understand the value of doing business with me, right? And they know that if something comes up, they have access to me. He's only negotiated his compensation with a friend of his from college. And let me be clear, I told him don't take that deal in the first place, and it has been hell for him. All right. So some things we know we should not be doing. And we also don't work with people who are not grateful. And you can spot that at the time of listing. Just tell them, hey, oh, this is my favorite sentence. I don't think I've ever said this sentence to you. Based on today's real estate market, I will not be successful in meeting your real estate needs. I'm going to say it again. When you don't want to take a deal based on today's real estate market, I will not be successful in meeting your real estate needs. I don't tell people they're crazy. I don't tell people they're unrealistic. None of that. Landmark taught me to take responsibility. So my way of taking responsibility is based on today's real estate market. I will not be able to meet your real estate needs. because what they want, no number line up to day. Okay. Go back and demonstrate that. Would you talk through some Pinterest tips? We talked about Pinterest. We talked about that. What is the best outline to organize your budget? I have Excel QuickBook, but thought of starting from scratch. So to me, the best outline for your budget is to start with your household expenses. This is the amount of money minimum that you need to take care of your house. Then, based on your business plan, you want to come up with what you must spend money for. We're going to just out the gate, right? If you're a realtor member, you got your state, local, national association, you have your MLS. How is your car going to be utilized? So I have a luxury lease and auto insurance. That is all coming out of my business account. The next thing is my customer relationship management system. The next thing is going to be your mobile device. So every expense, either it's going to be a household expense or a business expense. The best way to see how to start with that budget is to go back, pull your bank statement and your credit card statements for the past 3 months and just start going line item. Right? How much are you spending for your hair? How much are you spending for your nails? How much do you spend on your toiletries every single month? It needs to be in your budget. Every person's budget that I have seen is off, generally by thousands of dollars. It's off. So the best way to do your budget is 2 categories, personal and business, and to go back 3 months to pull every credit card statement, every bank statement, and you're going to sit down and categorize that. Okay. And that is going to give you an accurate picture. I can tell you right now, you're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to think to yourself, I spent money on that. Now, the way that I spend money is I have a personal credit card and I have a business credit card. I charge everything. The reason I charge everything is because I want to build my points. I also pay my credit cards off every single month. Okay. So I charge everything. I'm swiping a card for everything. Now, I do carry cash with me. And I guess this is a great example. This is my wallet here. The very first thing you're going to see that I have is I keep $2 bills with me at all times because I tip in $2 bills. I intentionally go to the bank and I tip in $2 bills. I have my personal credit card, I have my business credit card, and that's how I'm operating out of this wallet. Do I have other credit cards? Yes. I don't use them. I'll use my American credit card if I'm booking an American flight. That's the only reason. So when people say, well, hey, apply for this credit card, I'm not applying for that credit card because I want my travel points. I only need these 2 credit cards to get all the points, 4 times this, 8 times that is on these credit cards. So when a lot of business people are out here on these fabulous trips, they ain't paid a penny for them. They doing it off of these points, just so that you know, right? So I also keep cash in case I get Austin's allowance. So I get nothing but $5 bills. They're in my bedroom. So I can pay him his allowance because sometimes he doesn't want me to Zelle him his allowance. He wants cash on hand. All right. So go back 3 months, every credit card statement, every bank statement, itemize it, put it either on business, put it on personal. That's going to be a rude awakening. I can tell you right now. Get you 2 credit cards. If you don't have them, work to get it. 1 for business, 1 for personal. And let me tell you this also keeps you in compliance with the IRS. It is going to help you so much with the IRS. Actually, I had more business expenses than I thought I had, which now means that I have less taxable income. So it will help you out. And let me say this, you don't have to pay your credit cards off every single month. That is a personal choice because I don't like debt. Okay, so I've had debt in the past. I felt like it was choking me. I am adverse to debt. We have a mortgage and two car notes. That's what we got. Which credit cards do you recommend? American Express Platinum is the best. I don't have an American Express Platinum. Here's why I don't. My preferred airline is Southwest. The reason Southwest is my preferred airline is because I live on the south side of the city of Chicago. It takes me 30 minutes front door to gate at Midway Airport versus up to 2 hours front door to gate. That means that if I go to O'Hare, I am going to spend more money for parking and I need to allocate 2 to 3 hours just for additional travel. So I have a Southwest credit card that is issued by Chase, which is where I do my business banking at. So then I am getting actually more points because I use a Southwest credit card based on the up to 100 trips I'm going to take every year for work. But American Express is by far the best. And Terry Watson sent me an email. Let me write a note. I will send you a list because, and let me say this, the best might not be the best for you. So I just gave you an example of why I do what it is that I do. It's based on the airport that I'm flying out of and my preferred airline. If that wasn't the case, then guess what? I likely would use the American Express. That isn't my case. And then I have a American airline card, but I only use that when I'm booking an American flight because of the amount of points that you get. So let me put credit card information on what is the best credit cards to have, okay? Because I've had long, detailed discussions about that. So I'm spending, I don't know, let's say you spend $25,000 a year in business-related expenses. That then means that on some of these, I can get up to 200,000 points. 200,000 points is going to get me 5, 10 round trip airline tickets. Okay. And I don't use my points for business travel. I use my points for personal travel. That means I'm taking my kids because I can use them points as I desire, regardless if they're earned for business. So you got a lot of these are just little strategies that once you implement it, it just keeps like I don't think about it now because I'm just doing it consistently. Oh, y'all asking some good questions today. All right. So that's how I would come back and I would do the budget. Are you going to put the Reels class in the video 6 and 12 archive? So let me say this. The Reels class was a public class. So everything is not going to be recorded, right? Can we do a Reels course soon? Yes. Why do people want a Reels course? Because y'all just realized I'm making money making Reels. I just want you to know that. Currently, I can make up to $1,200 a month creating Reels. Last month before last, I earned $151 from creating Reels. So imagine this. Facebook will pay you to increase your visibility, right? And I get a 69% click-through rate on my Instagram profile through using Linktree. So I know that people who click on Linktree, I'm getting a 69.82% click-through rate. That means I'm taking them to my website. I'm taking them to Amazon to buy something, okay? So you mean you're going to pay me money to market my business and get up to almost a 70% click-through rate? So we will do a Instagram Reels course and how you can monetize it. What I would encourage everyone to do now, you must have a Instagram creator account in order to be able to monetize your account. It's under being a creator that you can monetize your account. So I look, that $151 and I got premium gas, but it's a smaller tank. So that is 1.5 weeks of gas for your girl. Yes, mama got us some gas money from creating Reels. So I am loving that. So we will do that. Do you like the company Keeping Current Matters? Is it worth getting a description? I don't know if it's worth getting a subscription. I do know the owner. There are some agents that swear by it. I'm not sure because I've never subscribed. So I know they've been around quite some time. They're reputable people. He gives great insight when he speaks, but I've never used the platform. So, someone stated, I had a very rough week in real estate last week. It has recently made me rethink my big why. Used to say it was serving and truly helping others. I'm very blessed and I don't need real estate income. Oh, good. So, my big why is not tied to money. Come on now. Now that's what I'm talking about. Question is, how do you stay motivated to keep going? I love the highs of real estate, but the lows sometimes kill me when when you do 10,000% for people and you get the evil version of themselves back to you. Context, been in business 7+ years now. So let me say this. A couple of years ago, at the beginning of the year, when you asked for what it is that you want in that year, there were a couple of people whew, who drained me. And what my prayer was for that year was that I don't want to change who I am as a person. I want to have the ability to give freely to everyone because that's just naturally who I've been. However, when you come across negative, ungrateful, inappreciative people, it makes you think you should change your given heart. Okay. So, my prayer for that year was that God would remove all serpents, all leeches from my life, that they would just bypass me. They gone about their business so that I could continue to do what it is that I need to do. And here's why. I believe in karma and I believe in the law of attraction. So, in order for me to have the goodness that I want in life, I must continue to give goodness to others. I have not had a phone conversation with my father since March of 2000. He is one of the people that I released. The reason is I have had a 50-year whirlwind relationship with him. And I questioned my mother about her relationship with him because he just don't know. He has never been able to treat me the way that I deserve that I need to be treated. And I refuse to take his treatment because I know God did not set me up for him to treat me wrong. Okay. And so when we start thinking about this, I have eliminated a lot of relatives in my life because I can't treat them good. Because based on what they're giving me, it's going to bring the worst in me out. And I don't want that. So my father decided that he would call my oldest son and he would call my husband to see would I unblock him. Nope, I'm not unblocking him. And I told them both, I said, so you know I got you blocked and I ain't talking to you. I need to unblock you to tell you that I'm not gonna do that. I said, we're not doing this again. We've done this 4-5 times in the past. I said, tell him I'm not unblocking him and I'm not ready to have a relationship. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. Not based on that last conversation we had. And here's the thing, I've forgiven him. I've forgiven him at least once per year. I've forgiven him. And then he come and he do something else. What history has shown me was that I shouldn't be in that type of relationship. So when I was coming into being 50, we had another blowout. And I told God, unless you come tap me on my shoulder, okay, I cannot bring him into the next 50 years with me. And so I left him where he was. And I'm not mean to him. I saw him at my aunt's 80th birthday party a couple of weeks ago. My husband says, are you going to be okay? I said, oh, yes. This is my aunt's 80th birthday party. I said, I'm going to go. I'm going to be nice and pleasant. Watch me. I went in my aunt's party. My father came up to me. I hugged him. I kissed him. I told him he looked good. And that was it. He then leaves the party and says, Marky, don't forget your promise you made to me. I ain't made no promise. I ain't made no promise. I said, oh, we can ready to do this again. But what I knew was I was going to show up at that party, have a good time. I was not going to frown and I wasn't going to treat him no different. So, what I'm clear about is I can be nice to you. I can hug you, kiss all on you, and everything. I ain't taking you with me. So, don't you let nobody change who you are. Release them. Just release them. And it's okay to take a break, but it ain't okay to give up. That would be my advice. And I'm just telling you from my own personal experience. I know that just got y'all, right? It's okay to let them go. I thought growing up that because we were raised together, me and my cousins, that we were all going to do the same thing, right? We took baths together, we got whoopings together, we went to the candy store together, we took trips together. I'm just thinking we're going to all progress the same way. That ain't life. And just because we don't progress the same way doesn't mean that they are entitled to pull me down or pull me back. Okay, I'll pull you with me, but you got to keep going. If you get ready to become a barricade or a blockage, I got to let you go. So, I would pray for you that serpents, leeches, people who are non-grateful, inappreciative, people who make you feel that way, that they don't even come in contact with you. That when they updated their mobile device, they lost your telephone number. Is what I would pray for you. Baby, it works. The people I have around me are so freaking fabulous. They make me smile because I'm only around people who make me smile. And guess what? We ain't got to agree. This is not about agreeing with me. My husband tell me I'm wrong in some every other day, right? That's not what this is about. It is about protecting your positive energy. And you know those people who drain you. You know that client who's going to drain you. You know that relative who's going to drain you. It is okay to love people from afar. I love a lot of people from afar. So that was whew, girl, I almost had church over here today. Okay. Um, so if you don't let them get you, your big why. And let me say this, it might be time to do something different and leverage your real estate license in different ways. I've leveraged these licenses every way that one could potentially leverage a real estate license. Start exploring what makes you happy and how can you pivot with the current license that you have. What are some of the seller documents and systems? Where are they housed and all of the content we received? All that content is either housed under guides inside of the private Facebook group or on the membership site, and you would go under templates. That's where they are. And then on Monday night, we're going to go over all the different forms and documents for short sales. But let me say this, let me come back. Every masterclass, the documents are grouped with the masterclass. Everything else is under template. So I just want to clarify that. Have you been sued before? Have I been sued before? Honey, yes. Have I been sued before? If so, what would you have done differently? Also, what business practices do you do to prevent yourself from being sued on a daily basis? Okay, so have I been sued before? Yes. I was sued by my family. Okay. Hence, me and my father's another issue in me and my father's relationship. I owned the trademark right for Lem's Barbecue. I was born and raised in the restaurant business, undergrad degree, hospitality management, master's degree, business administration. My granddaddy paid for all of my education with the exception of my last year of grad school. For some reason, he didn't want to pay no more. No problem. I paid for it. But it was also after he had given me a building. So I'm thinking, look, she going to figure this out. And what I told him was, I want to thank you for everything you've paid for in the past. I will continue to go to school and get my degree. I also know for a fact that my aunt saw the fact that he was paying for me to get a master's degree. I believe that she squashed the situation because my grandmother made her pay for her master's degree. Anyway, don't have proof of it. I got the master's degree now. So my father's sister sued me because I owned the trademark right to Lem's Barbecue. What I did in that situation, and it was a life lesson. Anytime you are sued, you likely have a countersuit. Okay, because every time I'm hearing these agents threaten an agent and not they talking about the other person is unethical. A lot of times they did something unethical too. Okay, and so it's very hard to just dot every I and cross every T. Sometimes it's not going to be malice and it's not intentional, right? So with that being said, I had to countersue my family. The judge threw my family's lawsuit against me out because I could prove entitlement. They then made my family, with my countersuit against them, made them go to mediation to solve my suit. So they throw their stuff out. Now they want to come back and we got to sit down and talk. And they said, you're going to have to give us something. You need to come up with what it is you think you're going to give her. So I was thinking that we would go through this and I would take it easy on them and we would be kumbaya again. Well, I didn't care if I was kumbaya with my father and his sister, but I thought me and my grandfather would get to a kumbaya. My aunt was a thorn in our relationship until the day he drew his last breath. Okay. Um, and I wasn't willing for my grandfather to suffer because of his love for me or have fear for my aunt. So I took a step back. Not a problem. And he gave him hell in the end, talking about me every day. But let me just keep going. So anytime someone sues you, I want you to check to see if you have the potential for a counter lawsuit. The way to not get sued right now is to remain in compliance with licensed law and the Realtors Code of Ethics. Because if you are in compliance with licensed law and the Realtors Code of Ethics and you have E&O insurance, it should give you some protection under the law. So we live in a litigious society. People can sue you for anything. But yes, I have been sued. I would say that I prevailed in that situation. It didn't cost me any money. It cost them a whole lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money. That's why my aunt is still mad. Anyway, and when it comes to selling real estate, adherence and understanding of license law, the Realtors Code of Ethics, will then mean that your E&O insurance should work. Okay. There's probably some things on the technical side, like your email addresses that might not be protected. But if you're reading license law and the Realtors Code of Ethics, those are going to be the two places that you can protect or reduce the amount of lawsuits. Do you farm? What are your best resources for farming? Vendors, how to identify a farm. So for me, when you think about identifying a farm, I want you to look at three factors. Which community has the fastest rate of sale at the highest price point with the fewest barriers to entry? Whatever that community is, I tell everybody join the Chamber of Commerce in that community. What are the needs and the wants of that community? Those are going to be the vendors that you source to solve their problem. Okay, so we're going to look at three things: rate of sale, price point, and barriers to entry. Based on those numbers, we should say that's going to be our geographical farm. Most people farm and say, oh, I want to work where I live. Yeah, but if nothing is selling and it's a low price point. There's a community in the city of Chicago, and I had this same discussion with an agent. And this is what I would consider not getting out your own way. And it's Beverly. Now, Beverly does not have the fastest rate of sale at the highest. It does not have the fastest rate of sale. It does have a higher price point. But there's so many agents competing for that area. Therefore, there's a adjacent community called Morgan Park. The competition in that community is less. The price point is lower, but the rate of sale is higher. So when I'm talking to agents, because everybody want to be in Beverly with 3,000 other folks, and that's an exaggeration, I'm like, but why don't you want to focus on any of these, the next door community? And it's because of how selling real estate in Beverly looks. Forget how selling real estate in Beverly looks, right? You want to make money. So don't get caught up in the perception of how it looks. Get caught up in how am I going to make the most amount of money in the least amount of time at the lowest cost to do business because I'm an entrepreneur. And sometimes people won't get out of their own way because they're like, I just want to sell in that neighborhood. Nah, that probably ain't the best neighborhood for you to sell in. What platforms do you have your clients write reviews on? Tips for getting your clients to actually write them. How much do you follow up with them? So, what platforms do you get your clients to write reviews on? Here's the thing, if you get them to write a Google review, so the question talks about Google, Facebook, Realtor.com, and Zillow.com. I would say if you do a Zillow review, people are coming to Zillow oftentimes. No, sorry. If you get them to do a Google review, generally Google is sending you to Zillow, to Realtor.com, and to Facebook, right? I would say do a Google review. And then what you would do with your review is take a screenshot of it and share it on Facebook, share it on LinkedIn, share it inside of Instagram, okay? Tips for getting your clients to actually write them. You want to, at the time of closing, while you're sitting there, you're waiting on them to print these last documents out, get a video testimonial. Get them to do with that dead time at the closing or at the final walkthrough. Pull out your phone and say, how has this experience been for you? Let me capture it, okay? And if they don't want to be the face of a video, because everybody don't want you to see their face, what you could do is outside the house as you're walking out the door, you can have the client stand next to you and you film the house. Because then you can add words, you can do audio to text transcription over that house. So final walkthrough at the closing table, because you should be at one or the other, get a video testimonial. Okay. It doesn't have, they don't want to be in the video, not a problem. Stand next to me. I just need to have your voice heard. You record the video on your mobile device, either of them if they want to be on camera or of the house. It'll do when you load it to Instagram, audio to text transcription. And now you can put that on your website. And when you put it on your website, you put the property address, the zip code, it will come up in a Google search. So I would want my testimonials actually on my website, because if they do a Google search, then it'll click the link to the website to boost the website rankings, not necessarily for that Zillow or for those other websites. Okay. So think of capture video, final walkthrough, closing table, audio to text transcription, putting them on your website. When someone does Google, and you put them on your website and in Google, is how I would do it, but making sure that you're linking them back to your website. Okay. And that's the best way to get it. So we just had a follow-up meeting yesterday for our Summit 360. And next year, we're going to start doing video testimonials at our realtor event. When people are happy, before they leave out, let's pull out this mobile device and capture that information. How often do you follow up with them? Most people do not follow up. So after closing, in this is an example. Let me say this, I'm friends with the people I do business with. And so I'm following up with them, a lot of them via social media. I send out an email every other week. I send out Father Day cards. I send out Valentine Day cards. So I'm following up at least once a year. A new recommendation that just came in is that you follow up the day after, 1 week, and 1 month later. Okay. And see if they need something. So one couple, and this, me and Skylar was talking yesterday, they were paranoid about the keys. Send a locksmith out. Okay. So you don't have to give them a closing gift instantly, but you can provide them an item of service once they get in their house and they realize, hey, this is a problem. Or, man, I wish I would have got a new toilet stool seat. Oh, okay. Well, you know what kind of toilet do you have? Send me a picture. And you run by and take them that. And so you can follow up. And the best thing to do to get in front of their audience, I would highly recommend that you do this, is you want to host their housewarming party, and you want to serve at their housewarming party. Here's why. You want to send the invitation. So have them to send you their guest list and you set that up for them. If you're mailing out invitations, if you're doing an event website, you want that information. No one is mad at their housewarming party. I don't care what the transaction happened, no one, because they don't want to seem like they did something bad in buying their house. Okay. What I have done is there's a young lady, she owns Brown Sugar Bakery. She has a triple layer caramel cake. I buy one triple layer caramel cake. I go to the house, I cut and serve the cake because I get to talk to everybody who's coming to get dessert. If you're not going to do a dessert, see if you can be the provider of the beverage. Make sure you have alcohol and non alcohol. Depending on their religious beliefs, they will tell you. You want to go and you want to serve the people. It is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. And it looks like you are of service to others. Okay. So, cake, little liquor, it should not cost you more than $50. Okay. And if you want to get fancy, get you some branded napkins, order them off of Etsy, and your own branded plates if you just want to be fancy. How much volume must I? Oh, okay. How much volume must I do to become a speaker myself one day? What advice would you give someone 2 years into their career to make possible trajectory one day? Well, let me say this: there are a lot of speakers who have never sold real estate. So Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Katie Lance, Greg, let me think of Greg's last name. Greg. Can't think of it. They don't sell real estate. So there are a lot of speakers who do not sell real estate. I will tell you a couple of things. Join Toastmasters would be first and foremost. It's under $100 investment so that you know how to time yourself and overcome your ums and your ahs. Toastmasters. Another organization that you could join later after you've made money would be NSA, the National Speakers Association. I had already taught before I became a real estate speaker. So I had taught for Chicago Public Schools and had already taught on a collegiate level. I knew I was going to come back into education, but I thought I would do it at 40 and not at the age of 36. A couple of things that changed the trajectory of my speaking career. I designed my own curriculum. That would be number one. I own what I teach, with the exception of the designations and certifications from the National Association of Realtors. I started developing curriculum the first year I started teaching. It changes everything when you have your own curriculum and become a licensed instructor in your state. I was a licensed pre-licensed instructor and a licensed continuing education instructor. But owning your own curriculum and coming up with your own signature program is going to be key. So the steps will be join Toastmasters. Do that right now. The next one is in the future, think about joining the National Speakers Association. Develop your curriculum. Okay. Whatever that signature curriculum is going to be. We're doing the foreclosure short sale class. That is what put me on the map back in the day. And what it was one more thing that I had in there. Develop your own curriculum, become a licensed instructor in your state, whether that's pre-license or continuing education. That is how you would get started on the right trajectory. There is no minimum dollar volume to becoming a speaker, none whatsoever. And there are numerous keynote speakers who have never had a real estate license, but they're experts at what they speak on. Competition is healthy for business. So come on over here to the dark side of real estate education. Is there a national company that you highly recommend for coaching or someone in Washington State that you like a lot in the real estate coaching? I'm going to say no, but I would say reach out to Stephanie Chumley, who is with Chicago Title. Her husband is your past state president, and they might have someone specific in your state. I get coaching, but not from real estate coaches. I get coaches from the things that I think that I should do better in my job. So I definitely have coaches. There are some that are, Katie Lance is out here. And let me say this is what's funny. The more popular coaches have never practiced real estate. So that, and I don't know if you have to because they have proven provocative track records. Okay. What, if any, real estate designations are worth it? Oh, I think all the designations are worth it. But let me tell you how I did what I did. The pre-license, and this is just the thought process. The pre-license course does not teach you how to sell real estate. Today, in order to be successful long term, you need to have an entrepreneurship mindset. You need to know something about sales. You need to know something about marketing, and you need to know something about technology. With that being said, I earned the ABR designation and had earned it that first half of the, so 2003, July 31st, 2003, I decided to open my real estate company. In December of 2003, I earned over $24,000 in commission. In 2004, I did $12 million in volume. I earned actually $242,000. With that being said, I invested in the ABR first, the accredited buyer representative, and it changed everything. Everything. That's the only way that I got to the $12 million, because the pre-license course doesn't teach you anything. It does not teach you how to operate a successful real estate business. But I knew how to implement successful buyer strategies to get to the closing table because of the ABR. The ABR will give you credit towards all of the other designations and certifications. So I do have 64 real estate related licenses, designations, and certifications. So I have the ABR, the ABRM, the SRS, the CRB, the CRS, the CRETS, the RENE, the CNA. I have taken the green. I have taken the CIPS, and these are designations I've had but let go. I've let go of the SRES. I've let go of the green. I've let go of the CIPS. Oh, I earned the BPO that became the PSA. I have the SFR. And so I'm an education junkie. There are some things I would tell you don't do. Based on time and based on how I operate, I would not have earned the SRES. I would not have earned the green. And I would not, even though I got some of the best connections out of the CIPS course, only because that's not my focus. And it's going to be years if it ever becomes a focus. Okay. So I should have put that on the back burner. The two that have, oh, and I have the ePro. The top three for me would be ABR, SRS, CRS. That would be my top three. Okay. So yes, does it? Yeah, because there are a lot of things I know that a lot of people don't know. I learn one thing new in every class, even the ones that I've decided to let go of, only because I don't communicate in the preferred style of a senior. My life, I don't live a green life. And the CIPS, I just don't have time to implement it. So, yep, there are some things that I would do different, but that is that. I'm coming over here to the Q&A. I struggle to keep to the calendar when I have showings, listing appointments, and closings that pop up. So how did you have it when you were out in the field? So the only thing that I would allow to interrupt anything is going to the closing table. You go to payday. That's what all the work has done. Other than that, I really didn't have anything that disrupted the calendar. So I would want to know what is disrupting your calendar. My rules apply even to my family, so I don't come up to school in the middle of the day. Everybody better have everything they need when they leave out the house. So my children and my husband and my family cannot be a disruption because I'm doing this to aid and take care of them. I would want to know what comes up. And then you have to tell people no, or you have to prioritize. So if you got a buyer's showing appointment, you're supposed to be at that buyer's showing appointment. You got a listing appointment, you're supposed to be at that listing appointment. closings are generally going to be set in advance. And so then what you can do is say, hey, we're going to be at the closing table for this amount of time. And you can schedule around it. Hey, I have a closing tomorrow. Or you can ask for help. There is a new platform out called Shawami. I interviewed the owner, and they're rolling out some new things August at Inman. You can pay someone on a platform to show your buyers a property. Okay. And they have a lot of agreements. I'll put his information in the website. So then the next thing would be the listing appointments, and get committed to just saying, nope, can't do that right now. This is what's on my schedule today. This is what's on my schedule today. I sit here with this mobile device, but if I have work to do, I put that phone down and I'm going to finish what's on the schedule, and then I'm going to pick the phone up. You're going to have to say no. That's the only way this is going to manifest itself, is you have to say no. And then you got to get honest with yourself. Is it really a priority? And you that's something you're going to have to decide. To me, it is not a priority. Not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Me working this business is. I'll get with you later. And everybody has their time. You know, I date everybody in my house. So Skylar gets his time. Austin, Skylar's not in my house, but you would think he was sometime. Skylar gets his dates. Austin gets his dates. Stephen gets his dates. But they will tell you, everybody in my house is going to ask me what is on my schedule before, because I've conditioned them. What's on my schedule before they come up with their brilliant ideas. And I tell them no all the time. I tell them no at least once a day, every day. Somebody getting to know. And I just keep conditioning them. Nope, can't do that. Nope, won't do that. Austin wants to go to the grocery store and the thrift store today because he got a job. Yesterday, when he went to the job, Austin only wears sweatpants and sweatshirts, shorts. That's all he likes. And I used to tell him, well, don't you want to look nice? Don't you want to look handsome? Nope, was what he told me. So yesterday he comes home. He says, Mom, they told me that I need to wear professional attire. I said, okay. I said, you want it? He's like, yes. And they said, we can go to the thrift store. I said, okay, we'll put it on the agenda. He wakes up this morning. Are we going to the thrift store today? No, we're not. We're not going to the thrift store today because you came home yesterday and the job don't start until January the 5th. But I will get you there before January the 5th. You're not on my schedule today. Now, he didn't like it. I could see that he pouted. But how do you get to come and disrupt me with less than 24 hours of notice for something that ain't until next week? Start with the end in mind. All I know is I need to have that boy some professional clothes from the thrift store, right? Before that date. That don't mean it got to be today. And he's going to have it. So here's what's funny, because I laughed about it all night. So I was like, so Austin, you mean to tell me you want to look nice now? He says, yes, Mom, it is character building. So whatever they doing in this new program he in, I'm loving it because he's building his character. He wants to look nice and handsome now because he used to could care less about any of that. We would have a big old blowout about it. My Facebook account was hacked and Facebook kicked me out because the hacker posted something on my page that was against Facebook community standards. Yep, that has happened to a lot of people. I have no way of speaking to anyone at Facebook to get it back. Unfortunately, my business page is attached to my personal page. Do you know of a company that can help get your Facebook page back? I do not. But what I will tell you, and this is for everybody else, set up the two-party authorization. Do it today. Do it for Instagram and do it for Facebook because the hackers are out here and they are hacking at a faster rate than they have in the past. I do not know of a company because I don't know how to verify if the company is a legit, authentic company or if it's a fraudulent fake company that will help you get your account back. There are a couple of people, and it is on my to-do list on how to overcome being hacked because it's something that I don't know about only because I've never personally been hacked. So give me, it's already on my list. Don't need to write it down. Give me a little bit of time to talk to some people to see what resources are available because I don't know of any, but being hacked is real serious, especially now, and it's happening faster. So set up the two-party authorization where you have to text. Um, if not, it is possible because it is happening. Okay, so I want to tell you I'm sorry about that because it is of great frustration that that occurs. Will you agree that great realtors are great marketers? Oh, um, hmm, yes, I would think that marketing is definitely one of their skill sets. Sales and marketing is what we do. And marketing, I would say, is a third of what we do, whether we're marketing in order to obtain a client or we're marketing to build referral businesses, we're still marketing, right? So, marketing and sales is a huge part of being a realtor. And those that are better at marketing also tend to be more successful because they understand its value and they're going to be consistent in their marketing efforts. And consistency is key to everything that we do in the world of real estate. Um, I can learn so much. Yeah, boundaries are important. I know that I say it all the time and I say it with authority, but it took me a long time to get to setting these boundaries. And the only reason I'm continuous with my boundaries because I absolutely hate the feeling of being overwhelmed. It puts a pit in your stomach. And every time I go against my rules, I have that pit. So the older I become, the more times it's happened in the past that I'm less likely to do it moving forward. It's one young lady in the group. We met every agent that I recruit, I meet with them once face to face. And she wanted to meet. I'm like, well, we out at the third week in August for a face to face with Marky because my summer was already planned. I wanted to do free events in the city of Chicago. I think y'all know I'm coming to Vegas. We can ready start marketing that for 6 and 12. I've scheduled everything for me coming to Atlanta. So I'm adding things right as a benefit to the group for us to have the opportunity regionally to have these face-to-face events. I plan those days well in advance. And then if I'm going to get on the road, I got to do some things for the city of Chicago. So this summer is about outreach and those dates were already planned. But then if you're recording video, you got to set aside time to record the video. So all of these things are blocked on my calendar in advance. And if I don't take care of it, then I got to move it, right? And you just keep moving it out. It becomes a headache. Get rid of the frustrating feeling. Now they're gonna make you think that you're wrong and you're a bad person. I can tell you that right now. But the joy you're going to receive. Don't allow people to dictate your calendar. You become the dictator. So many people will use you to create their dreams. You don't want to be the person who's used in a situation. I don't want to use you in my dream creation, but I'm not going to allow myself to be used. Okay. And I got more stories to tell because I've learned the hard way. I received a spam claiming it to be Facebook. Oh, and let me say this. Don't click on no emails and no text messages. Do not click on them. Okay. They don't send you these type of messages. So I've gotten 2 emails that said that I was locked out of Facebook. I went and pulled up the Facebook app from the mobile device and I pulled up Facebook from the desktop. No problems. Delete, delete. Do not click on it. All right. Well, guys, let's see where we at. Oh God, we didn't spend I talked my butt off today. And y'all just let me keep on talking. I can see why people had to leave out. I just been talking.